would things be different if Sam's mom were still alive?
I think if his mom was still alive, Sam and Max would have like the supportive household like Claire has on page 67, like when they both go to her house to study for the SAT and she has all of the toys and the, like just all the different things for her. And I think Max would have like all of that too.
I think that like it could go like either way, like on like page 140 when Rick said like they wouldn't be in this mess, like either they like wouldn't have Sam wouldn't have had like Max because maybe he would have been more informed by his mother about like the dangers of like sex or unprotected sex because we don't like really know like what they had. And like they also like he could have got more support from his mom than like his dad.
I agree with that. And on page 152, Mitch says to Sam, if your mother and any kind of stuff, like I've always known it was my fault too. So I think he's implying that because after his mother died and his father became so detached, that he feels like he wasn't there enough for him. And if his mom was there, maybe they could have, like Mia said, talked about like the dangers of sex and unprotected sex.
If his mom was still there, I think on page 140, Aunt Jean yells at Mitch for saying, this is what your mom or your wife would have wanted. And I think if his wife was still alive and Sam's mom was still alive, that she would probably encourage him to go to college, and she would probably be the one that took care of Max in the college years, and then he would have her pay her back or do something afterwards.
I also agree with that. I think that she would have wanted Sam to go to college, and I also said that they would be kind of like a huge fishing family, like going back to like chapter 18 and all that, like the whole fishing scene, and that she loved fishing and she like had her own flies and whatnot. And then I also said that she'd probably cook for the family, because like in chapter 18 as well, on page 144, she was making them pancakes, and where on page 12, Dad brought home Chinese food in boxes, and they didn't really talk when they ate, so I feel like they'd be more of like a social family, and it would create like a better atmosphere for Sam and Max, and just it would create that whole family.
Going back to what Ryan said, on page 76 it says, your mom always wanted you to go to college, and that's what like Aunt Jean was saying to Sam, and then I also thought like what Mia was saying, that he might not have had Max because like when his dad was gone, like his mom might have been home, and then he might not have gone to his house and stuff, so things could have like been completely different if his mom was still alive.
Yeah, like going off of like what Melissa said, I feel like he would be like kind of less stressed out with Max because he has to like pick up like all the diapers and the formula and has to clean and has to cook, so I feel like it would be easier if like mom was.
Yeah. On page 57, Max or Sam talks about like kind of how it's hard that he doesn't have a mom in his life, and I feel like if Sam's mom was in the picture, maybe he wouldn't. This is kind of a stretch, but maybe he wouldn't have given his baby up for adoption because part of the reason he didn't want his son to grow up without a mother. So maybe if Teresa was there, he wouldn't have made the decision to do that. But
yeah, I agree with that. I think that. Sorry. I think it seems to me like Mitch is putting a lot of the blame, like the presence of Max. He kind of blames the fact that his wife wasn't there. Personally, I disagree with that. I think Max would probably be there either way, like whether his mom was still around or not. But and I also cited page 152 when he tells Sam, if your mother, I've always known this was my fault too. It seems to me like he's taking a lot of this responsibility on himself, and this is probably a side effect of the fact that he's still grieving the loss of his wife. And just in general, parents seem to tend to take responsibility for their kids' actions. But I think this is mainly a way for Mitch to kind of cope, I guess, with the loss still, by taking this responsibility.
I agree with that. I think that it's not really fair to completely blame his mom because, like, I think there's so many things that you can think about that could change your entire life. If you can think of, like, maybe not going to, like, the mall at the time that you did and meeting, like, that one person or something. Like, there's so many things that can affect that, so you can't, like, blame it all on, like, that one thing.
I also feel like if his mom wouldn't have passed away, like his dad would have been like way more supportive and not resent him and Max as much as he did. for like most of the book, and I think he would treat Max the way he treated Sam on page 150 when they went fishing, and he like taught him how to like release the fish the proper way.
I think he and his dad would be, Sam and his dad would be a lot closer and like actually have like a relationship as opposed to like whatever they have now. It's not really much of a relationship. And like they would probably go fishing together and stuff like Melissa was saying. Because on page 114, he was like, it was talking about how he would like wish that he could be fishing with his dad, and he like wondered if his dad wanted him there. But if his mom was still alive, he probably would be there rather than fishing.
I feel like it would have been really hard to kind of predict how Sam's life would be different because it could really go either way. You know, Sam could still have Max, and I think if he would have had Max, his mom would be encouraging him and helping to put him through college, because on page 142, Aunt Jean says, but I know what you want, Mitch. She wants Sam to go to college, and if she were here, I know what she'd do, which kind of implies that she'd be helping him to try and pay for college and still take care of Max. But I also think you go the other way, that, you know, Sam maybe wouldn't have had Max, because also on page 142, Mitch said, if Teresa were here, we wouldn't be in this mess in the first place. So that might kind of imply that kind of there would have been a more open relationship between everyone, and so Sam kind of like